Here's a look at what we have lined up for you today on The Now. You know about skimmers at the gas pump, and now this threat is moving online. What you need to change about how you're shopping. And there's new help for the millions of adults without a high school diploma, the tool that could help you boost your paycheck. And some veterans are finding an unexpected way to ease their PTSD.
Thank you, Annie. I'm Amanda Starantino, and thanks for joining us on The Now Indy. Today, Indianapolis Mayor and IMPD Chief Brian Roach rolled out another new tool to help keep our community safer. It's called Business Link Indy. The program, called B-Link for short, connects IMPD with security camera systems owned by businesses and homeowners across the city. The goal is to help improve police response, further investigations, and deter crime. Right now, IMPD is piloting B-Link with several community and business partners.
The mayor mentioned Big Red Liquors and also Goodwill Industries. They are the ones that have kind of stepped forward in this project, B-Link Indy Pro, in order to get us started, right? So it's going to allow us to kind of test this and see how it works. And so we are so appreciative of that.
Homeowners can also register their private security cameras with B-Link. Those videos, however, cannot be accessed by law enforcement. Instead, if there's a crime reported in your neighborhood, detectives can reach out to registered B-Link participants to request the footage. A 4-vehicle chain reaction crash in a construction zone in Bartholomew County sent one driver to the hospital. This happened yesterday morning on US 31 and 150 South, southeast of Columbus. Deputies say one driver hit an SUV that was stopped in traffic in a construction zone. That triggered 2 more rear-end crashes. One driver suffered non-life-threatening injuries. The sheriff is urging all drivers to be alert when driving in construction zones. Kyle.
Yeah, needed those sunglasses today and still got a lot of sunshine here across central Indiana. We'll start to increase clouds a little bit as we go through this evening, but temperatures today warmed into the middle 60s, actually a little above average for this time of year. And now checking out that view in Brown County, and you may have noticed the leaves are really starting to change now, getting a lot more of those yellows and oranges and even some pops of red color out there to enjoy. And most of those leaves are still on the trees, even though it has been a little breezy here lately. 64 degrees right now in downtown, 65 in Bloomington and Muncie, as well as Lafayette. There's that breeze. We've had some gusts over 30 miles per hour this afternoon. Right now out of the southwest, between 15 and 20 miles per hour in downtown. As we go through tonight, things will start to relax a little bit. Satellite and radar shows things are quiet, but there's that system off to the west. It's going to kind of wash out or fade away a little bit. We'll just increase the clouds here this evening if you're heading off to the Pacers game. Those temperatures into the middle 50s by 11 o'clock. We'll talk about those winds improving for us over the next couple of days. Another cool down on the way and some weekend rain chances in the forecast too.
Let's start the Now News feed. The U.S. has lifted all economic sanctions on Turkey. This after Turkey said it will make a temporary ceasefire in Syria permanent. President Trump also reiterating that some American troops will stay behind in Syria. The FDA is calling for stricter warnings on breast implants. The agency says the advisories should target possible risks and issues. This comes after a number of complications with breast implants have come up over the past few years, including recalls. Well, Facebook is pulling back the reins on the rollout of its cryptocurrency. CEO Mark Zuckerberg testifying on Capitol Hill today. He says there won't be any movement forward unless Libra receives approval from federal regulators. 'Tis the season for hiring. Experts at LinkedIn say right now is the perfect time to look for a job. On LinkedIn alone, there are 20 million jobs posted right now, and it turns out fall is a convenient time for companies to fill jobs. So experts say most companies are wrapping up their hiring before the year ends, partly to spend whatever is left in the budget. And this is also the time of year when hiring managers have more availability to look through applications. It takes about 4 weeks to get hired. So if you apply now, you'll likely have a job by Thanksgiving. But Monster's career expert says you should act fast.
People should start looking at applying today. Don't wait. When companies are posting their jobs, you can't assume it's going to be there tomorrow. They may actually have a robust candidate pool right away and start interviewing. So as soon as you see a job that's interesting, apply, but don't wait till a certain date.
Hiring is expected to go down once we hit November. Monster says when there's a shortage of workers, companies may speed up the hiring process. Well, if you're still looking around, make sure to not only update your resume, though, make sure you make sure your resume template can be customized for specific jobs. Also increase your skills and maybe add new experience as you apply. Well, you won't see filters that make people look like they've had lip injections or a facelift on Instagram anymore. The site is banning them and says it won't approve any new effects like this. It says it wants filters to be a positive experience for people. All right, back to our lineup. Hackers are finding a new way to get our information online, and they're doing something called e-skimming. We're looking at how that works and what you should change about how you're paying online.
Better ingredients, better pizza, Papa John's.
Welcome back to the Now Indy on RTV6. Many helping hands came together today to celebrate the service of an Indianapolis Army veteran and transform his home. Today's work was made possible by the Home Depot Foundation and the Hamilton County Veterans Service Commission. Kerry Heston served in the Army for 3 years. He recently had emergency eye surgery. His wife, Sherry, lost her full-time job in August and has since been working multiple jobs to help cover the family's mounting medical bills. Today, 80 members of Team Depot used their day off to help make improvements to the Hestons' home. Sherry says she did not know what she was getting into when she first asked for some renovation help.
Started out with I just needed a bathtub removed and put in a walk-in shower with a bench. And they came in with a clipboard and just started walking the property and have made it a huge project. I'm in awe and I'm so grateful.
The team did a tremendous amount of work today, including repairing floors, installing a new tub, painting, and blind installation.
There's a new skimming threat. The FBI is warning about e-skimming when we shop online. And honestly, it's nothing that you and I are doing as shoppers. Hackers are injecting malicious code into websites. And once that's loaded, hackers can capture shoppers' credit card data as they enter it on websites. That data can be sold on the dark web for other people to use without your permission. Stores, ticket sellers, travel companies, and utility companies tend to be the type of sites that hackers want to get into. Hackers will also make sure that whatever they're doing blends in with normal payment processing. That way, shoppers don't detect anything strange. And the FBI says companies should be proactive in protecting their websites and train employees on how to keep their systems safe. And while shoppers aren't to blame for this, there are steps we can take.
My general recommendation is, one-time use credit cards, gift cards to use online, PayPal, Apple Pay is another way to essentially use things that can only be used once. You can do essentially a one-time payment, and don't store your credit card information on most sites.
You could also install antivirus software into your browser that may detect hackers' code, but as software and code evolves, it could go undetected. While checking out the Now newsfeed, Netflix could soon crack down on people who share passwords. It could mean people having their accounts shut down. A recent survey found at least 10% of people admit to sharing Netflix passwords. Well, thanks to the Washington Nationals, you can get a free taco. That's because one of the Nationals players stole a base during Game 1 of the World Series last night. So you can capitalize on the deal at Taco Bell a week from today from 2 to 6. And a new survey found nearly 80% of parents admitted to taking some Halloween candy from their kids' stash. On top of that, nearly 30% said that they chowed down on more candy than their kids. Well, ahead in our lineup, some veterans are finding an unexpected way to ease their PTSD. The program using surfing to help them cope. Some veterans are learning surfing can be good for the soul. Kai Beach found out how it's helping them cope with the traumas of war.
It saved me.
The ocean has healing powers. And for former soldiers, it can help wash away the ugliness of war.
My name is Ash Legion. I was a sergeant in the Marine Corps.
Ash Legion is a veteran who had a hard time transitioning to life outside of the military.
For a long time, it was kind of just a race to get blacked out.
Now with help of Operation Surf, Legion has been able to step out of the darkness by stepping into the water.
Having a good place. Everybody's having a good time. The party waves.
It's given me so much more than I could have imagined. Honestly, when I first moved here, I bought a surfboard and a wetsuit, and I had nobody to surf with. I had no friends. I didn't know anybody here, and then I met Dan.
Dan Sensi, lead surf instructor for Operation Surf, who spent the past 7 years teaching veterans how to ride waves.
I don't want to sound like cliche, but a lot of people talk about how it saves their life.
Operation Surf is now in its 10th year and growing. Going from a weekend event once a year to now operating nearly year-round in northern, central, and southern California.
Watching people catch their first wave is pretty amazing. Kind of a light goes off, and people tend to feel like it's like something that they haven't experienced before, something they've been missing.
After finding surfing, these vets say they can't imagine life without it.
It's made a big difference. I found my solace again.
Ron Holtgrew was a Lance Corporal in the United States Marine Corps. Once a week, he drives 2 hours from Fresno to the Central Coast to get in the ocean.
I was one of those vets, too, that didn't think that I needed this program. And once I went through it, once I figured out that what they were trying to do here with the healing powers of the ocean, I don't stop coming.
So healing on so many levels, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. This is the healthiest lifestyle I've ever lived.
I'm Kai Beach reporting.
Kai, thank you. Your child's school bus may be part of a big recall. The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration is recalling more than 53,000 buses because of a safety issue with the seats. It says they don't have enough absorption, and that makes it more likely someone will get hurt if the bus gets into a crash. The buses have production dates between 2014 and 2020. School districts will be notified, and they'll be getting a free fix.
A frustrating car problem that supposedly had been resolved a few years ago has made a comeback this year, possibly because this past summer was so hot. Consumer reporter John Matarese shows why some cars appear to be prone to melting dashboards, so you don't waste your money.
It was a hot summer in much of the U.S. with record-breaking temperatures from Florida all the way up to northern states. And that heat took a toll on many things, including some car dashboards. Some things are supposed to melt, like ice cream cones, snow, and wicked witches, not dashboards.
It's very sticky to the touch.
But Carol West has a melting dashboard in her Toyota Sienna minivan.
You can feel it. It's on your finger.
That's sticky.
That is sticky.
Plus, she says the glare it makes on the windshield is horrible.
At night, it's worse because the lights hit that glare, and virtually I cannot see to drive.
It's a common problem in Toyotas and Lexuses from 2003 to 2011 and was the subject of a 2015 recall. But now her dealer, Carol says, wants almost $3,000.
$2,700.
To put in a new dash.
Put in the dash.
The worst part is that her Sienna missed the recall cutoff by just 1 year. A year or two ago, getting that dashboard fixed would have been free. Toyota offered no questions asked dashboard replacement until 2017. Now it warrants them for 10 years from the first sale date. That means cars older than 2009 no longer qualify. We contacted Toyota to see if they could make an exception for Carol.
But I don't think value-wise, $2,700 is something we shouldn't have to pay.
She may have to try a homemade solution, such as a rug over her dash. My advice: if your dashboard starts feeling sticky, don't wait. Check with your dealer or Toyota customer service to see if there's still some warranty coverage so you don't waste your money. I'm John Matarese for RTV6.
Thank you, John. And from Greencastle to downtown Indianapolis, enjoying some beautiful clear skies, lots of sunshine out there. You notice, though, we're starting to see that hue on the horizon as that sun is setting earlier and earlier. And we're just over a week away from Halloween. Do you have the costume ready to go? And for the kids there, well, we got the house is ready from Beth Anderson here. You can see the house alive with the spirit of Halloween. Decked out there, looking great. We've got the chance for maybe a few snowflakes in the forecast as we lead up to the trick-or-treating forecast, but we'll, of course, be looking at that a little closer the next few days. Right now, 64 degrees, feeling pretty good out there. As those clouds increase tonight, we're into the middle and upper 40s, and tomorrow, more in the way of cloud cover. We'll have less wind, though, west wind at around 10 miles per hour as those temperatures make their way to around 60 degrees, just a few sprinkles into the afternoon. So most of us are going to be staying dry. Temperatures, a little bit of a spread, a little cooler for you at Lafayette and Rockville in the upper 50s, but you'll make it mid to upper 60s as we work our way into Rushville and portions of Bartholomew County there around the Columbus area. 55 on Friday, gets a bit cooler, and then on Saturday, looks like that, unfortunately, is going to be our next best chance for some wet weather moving into central Indiana. Next few days of the forecast, those temperatures bouncing around a little bit. Sunday looking pretty nice, though. We'll get the rain out of here and a high of 62. Annie?
There's new attention on the most littered item in the world. Cigarette butts are the most collected item during ocean cleanups. An estimated 4.5 trillion are tossed every year worldwide. That's enough butts to line up around the earth more than 2,800 times. But what many people don't realize is that cigarettes are also a single-use plastic. A new British medical journal article today calling for a ban on filtered cigarettes to reduce global waste. The filter contains plastic that isn't biodegradable. Researchers say filters are put on cigarettes to save on the cost of tobacco and to fool people into thinking they are safer. They say the European Union ban on many single-use plastics was a missed opportunity because it didn't include filters.
There's the microplastics problem, and there's also the fact that it harms wildlife. So birds and fish look at this and they think it's food, end up eating it, and then because it's a plastic, it doesn't break down. It ends up stuffing up their intestines, and they end up starving to death.
The president of Green Butts says his product is a solution. The filters dissolve in water in minutes, so less chance of animals mistaking them for food. And they're made of biodegradable products like cotton, flax, and hemp, no plastics. Green Butts just secured a deal with a large Canadian cigarette maker. They've not had the same success yet with big tobacco.
Really, the only thing that's going to bring this into reality with the big boys is legislation passing.
Well, California is again trying to ban cigarette filters, even biodegradable ones. Past bills have gone nowhere. Well, as the debate surrounding vaping continues, the companies behind the products are defending themselves. Alicia Nieves is getting that perspective.
Making vape juice, the liquid inside e-cigarettes, is a complicated process.
The degradants to nicotine are oxygen in the air.
That George Castle Smith,
light from sources of natural nicotine degradator,
can talk to you for hours about.
When you pacifize it, you essentially smooth it out with...
Castle Smith's knowledge of e-juice and the electronic tobacco business stems from his family's long history in traditional tobacco. In the early 1900s, his great-grandfather ran a company around flavoring tobacco. Now, in 2019, it's in his hands.
I lost my father due to cigarettes. Had 3 heart attacks, 2 strokes, cancer twice. And that's why I entered into manufacturing e-juice. I'd like to try and help people that are nicotine dependent with a safer alternative. For the last 10 years, there's been relatively no health risks associated with it, or very low. Now, all of a sudden, people are dropping like flies. And what has been new that's been introduced?
The CDC is still trying to figure that out. Meanwhile, George Castle Smith decided to test every product e-liquid tech makes.
And what did those tests kind of reveal to you?
That we were not introducing a biological problem to the e-juice that we compound. I have a hypothesis that it is cannabis related. I asked the CDC and the FDA to carefully look at that delineation and to scrutinize what these ailments are associated with.
Answers could help his business.
If this had been a normal month of production, I would be up to the ceiling over here.
They could help his conscience.
With people dying, I need answers. I need to sleep well at night.
And they could help families all over the country.
I couldn't imagine losing a child, but I lost my father. And this product might have been able to help him.
I'm Alicia Nieves.
Alicia, thank you. Well, next in our lineup, millions of adults don't have a high school diploma, and now they're getting new help to change that.
And she started to cry, but she told me, oh, I'm really proud of you and what you've become now.
That woman got her diploma at age 24. We're looking at the tool that's trying to help others follow in her path. You're watching The Now.